key benchmark indices have bounced back. Crude oil prices too have come down after surging by over 2% on Monday. Experts called it a short-term knee-jerk reaction to the eruption of clashes between Israeli forces and a band of Hamas militants. But they also struck a note of caution. According to a Bank of Baroda note, if the war persists for long beyond a fortnight, the oil dynamics will change. It said the $90 a barrel number can be used as the benchmark beyond which there is trouble for the world economy. The price of Brent crude had collapsed by around $12 per barrel from $96.6 a barrel on September 27 to $84.6 on October 6, a day before the Hamas attack. And if Brent had continued to remain low in October, it looked like India would have saved $50 million every day and around $1.5 billion a month. It imports 4.2 million barrels a day. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Reserve Bank of India recently retained the projection of retail price inflation at 5.4% for the current financial year. The projection is based on the assumption of $85 a barrel. If the global prices of the Indian oil basket averaged more than this, inflation may rise beyond RBI expectations. So will the war impact India's energy security?
Today, a positive thing is that, oil supplies have now got very diversified. There are supplies in Africa now. There are supplies in Latin America, also in Southeast Asia. So immediately, I think the spike in oil prices is not because of any supply disruptions, but the expectation of supply depression. But much depends upon how long this conflict is going to continue. Is it going to escalate beyond the borders of Israel and Gaza?
Beyond energy concerns, the Israel-Palestine conflict may also hit India's exports to the Middle East, including countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE and Israel. The bilateral trade between India and Israel grew to $8.09 billion, excluding defense procurements in the first 9 months of FY23, up from $7.86 billion in FY 2022. Gems and jewelries are key items of trade. The total trade of gems and jewelry between India and Israel was over $2 billion in 2022 and 23. Industry insiders believe that the war may adversely affect this trade.
On a very crucial item of gems and jewelry, which is the principal trading item for us with Israel in particular, there would be some uncertainty in this particular sector, and this would affect many of our workers in the domestic sector as well. But at the same time, I think there is a flip side to such unstable conditions. We are also a major partner in the food security of the region. On that front, there could actually be a positive upturn in terms of Indian exports to the region because of the tendency in such situations to actually accumulate more for the unforeseeable contingency.
The war has also pressed the pause button on the ambitious India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor. Announced on the sidelines of the recently concluded G20 summit in New Delhi, the trade route was being touted as an alternative to China's Belt and Road Initiative. Israel and Saudi Arabia constituted the core of the initiative. But with Israel's attack on Gaza and the Arab world's general sentiment leaning towards the Palestine cause might stall the project.
Obviously, it will raise serious doubts about the viability of that project. Now, this particular corridor assumes, in a sense, that the current trend towards normalization of relations between Israel and the Middle Eastern countries, enabling long-term investment. These are not short-term trade relations. So if, as a result of what is happening today, the relationship between Israel and the Gulf states and the Arab states starts deteriorating, several propositions which have been based on an expectation of that normalization will obviously become a bit of a question mark.
The Israel-Palestine conflict's impact on the Indian economy cannot be underestimated. Experts believe a lot depends on the duration and escalation of the war. But as energy prices rise and export routes become uncertain, India faces the challenge of maintaining its economic growth trajectory.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
He's moving from employee to employer. Business Standard.